Whoa!
What?
Look at the definition of the ridges on his muscles.
There's like a lot of subtle things going on here that are kind of blowing my mind right now.
The most noticeable thing is just how saturated the green is. Thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Stick around to the end to see how you can get 3 months free. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artists React. We got Niko, we got Clint, we got myself, Wren here, and today we're gonna be looking at a bunch of different visual effects.
Some Hulk shots from different movies that have the Hulk in them and comparing the technology, the things it did.
And a whole section of effects that you've probably seen before, but never in this context. Let's get started.
Is this Journey to the West?
It is Journey to the West, Niko.
Dude, it's Budget Gandalf.
No.
Whoa!
What?
It is
Oh
just
my
a
god,
monkey.
excuse me, what? Look at the veins on that leg. Is this an entirely CG foot? It's gotta be.
Wait, why did it make the veins and the veins just disappear and the foot comes out of a different spot?
Wait, what?
do you
Wait,
mean?
roll that
What do you
back.
mean?
Wait,
It's
what?
like halfway through the art direction, they're like, okay, the foot's gonna materialize right there, and the veins grow, and then the foot doesn't actually.
Interesting, interesting.
Dude, all of the hair on that leg too?
I know, it's too real.
It's really well done.
Yeah. Dude, I love this foot clench when he's like, he gets serious. He's like,
Yeah. All right. So how do you think they did that?
well, definitely with reference. They had to have referenced an actual foot clenching.
You can see how the skin actually like flexes up over the knuckles and bones.
When the foot is flexing and you see the veins bulge a little bit as like the blood flow increases, that's not something you can just do with basic animation. That's something we need to start using either like surface displacement, where you are raising and lowering the geometry based on a texture map and an artist is just dialing it in by hand. There's no sense to build a full system of like muscle and bones for this one shot. We can probably have an artist just kind of go in and like move the mesh and the geometry by hand.
I think they probably filmed that for real. How would they have got him up? Do you think he's on wires?
Luckily, we got a little BTS clip to watch.
Beatus?
We got a Beatus clip
Oh, he's on a stilt?
and wires.
So it's straight up all the motion. Good for
Notice how
them.
the dudes are wearing blue screens?
Yeah, it's
suits.
hilarious.
It's like one of the most overrated things on Hollywood productions is putting someone in a green screen suit. It's
does-
so unnecessary.
He occludes them.
Yeah, but they're gonna rotoscope him anyway.
You're right.
And you'll notice in the shot they had of him landing and in the actual shot, they're slightly different. They rebuild the geometry of the background roughly so they can reproject the image so they can animate him a little bit and animate the camera a little bit differently to give you like this leg shot basically where the camera goes up over him.
So with the exception of the main actor, this entire shot is CG. Even though it's from a real plate, that plate is projected onto the geometry and then re-rendered. So in essence, that's new CG.
It's because they didn't actually have the foot there on set when they filmed the shot. So they kind of sweetened the camera angle to show the foot in its best light, basically.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, it's hard to compose for something that doesn't exist. It's usually easier just to recreate the shot.
Yeah, that's just a little fun one for you guys. Another Stephen Chow clip.
Okay, Kung Pao Enter the Fist. It came out in 2002. This is an 18-year-old movie. It can vote now. This is just a weird movie.
It's a great
This is a
movie.
super weird movie.
It's so good.
There's one thing that really stood out to me, having looked back on it, is that this has some incredible blue screen comping.
So they bought the rights to a really old kung fu film and then put Steve Odenkirk into the entire film. And they did a really good job with it to the point where it's like, it doesn't immediately register as being an old film with a new guy put into it. I thought they filmed the whole movie just as is.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. I mean, they do technically film a bunch of original stuff for this movie, and you can actually kind of tell because it has that newer aesthetic to it, like less grain and whatnot. But there's a huge chunk of this movie that is just repurposed old footage, and they comped him into those shots.
It looks really good,
dude. There's like a lot of subtle things going on here that are kind of blowing my mind right now. You have to paint that guy out, which means you have to paint back in the guy behind him who's moving around. Also, they're matching like the film stock to it.
That's the thing that's craziest to me is like they are matching the quality of the film stock like perfectly. This shot right here, when he actually attacks the guy, they do something really interesting here. They utilize his arms that go in front of his head, and they use that as a transitional wipe. They actually just film different plates with his angle static and set up perfectly.
It's just very classic. Cut it out, stick it on the footage. That's it.
Also, they set up the lighting perfectly on set when they recorded this stuff. It's like the best thing you can do for matching blue screen or green screen footage is just make sure your lighting setup is as close as possible to the stuff that you're going to comp into.
It is basic. They're doing basic effects here, but they're so effective.
Yeah,
they're doing them so well.
The hand of the artist here is very deft.
This movie has so many bizarre sequences in it though. Like, do you remember the whole cow sequence? Oh boy.
Oh my God. Freaking Chick-fil-A commercial. Oh, geez, dude.
Remember, this is 2002. This is like...
That's pretty funny.
Everything about this is just utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, are you ready for the most referenced VFX shot of the early 2000s?
Oh my God.
How do you think they did that though?
This is just, he's on wires and they're running around with a camera. He's just pretending to be in slow motion.
Yep, that's the easiest way to do it, is to fake it. The thing that made the Matrix bullet dodge scene so good is the fact that he's actually moving at full speed in real time, but because of the camera setup, they actually were able to make it real slow motion.
It's the coat that made it.
Yeah.
Sold it.
Yeah. Whereas in this movie, he's just like literally hanging on wire and is like, I'm in slow motion.
So Kung Pao was actually super inspiring to me back when this came out. It was in 2002. This is like at the height of Sam and myself just doing VFX on our home computers. And Kung Pao is like the most basic of VFX techniques. It's like it's a dude shot on a blue screen and then like cut out and stuck into the footage. And that's it. And like it was such a great demonstration of just like how much magic you could make with After Effects 3.0 and your PC. It was such a great demonstration of like, this is what we could be doing. The limit isn't our computer. The limit is just our technique and our imagination and our storytelling.
Experimental type stuff. The second movie with the Hulk was The Incredible Hulk starring Eric Norton.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
That's what I said.
Eric Norton.
Now this is officially part of the MCU. It's the second MCU film to ever come out, right after the first Iron Man. And they made some more creative changes. For instance, there's a lot more like surface detail in the skin of the Hulk, and he's a lot more like rugged looking, he's a lot more mean looking.
But man, look at that muscle detail.
Yeah, dude, the veins, the muscles, like he flexes, and you can see like the muscles flex and whatnot.
So he actually looks less photoreal though in this movie
he looks
than
like
the 2003 one. It looked like a video game cinematic character.
Where are the 50 cows? Move your asses!
Biceps, it's like so much muscular detail.
It's got an Eren Yeager Titan vibe going on. Here's the biggest difference I am seeing between this and the 2003 Hulk. They are not really worrying about photorealism anymore.
What do you, okay, I mean,
I'm not saying that they're just turning off all their shaders and just rendering them out with some polygon. Like, they're still making him look good, but it's much more painterly and animation based than it is trying to make it feel like this is real, it's on set, the lighting is accurate, and sometimes he looks real, but more often than not, he looks like an animated character. You know, it's like the sun's always edge lighting him. Whereas in the Ang Lee's Hulk, the sun is not always edge lighting him. The sun is accurately placed.
In the first Hulk, he's very front lit a lot of the time, just very flat. But when you're more edge lit, you get more definition with the shadows and whatnot. I think saying not being worried about making it look real is a little bit of a harsh statement.
You're right.
They are obviously taking that into account. They're prioritizing a stylized look rather than pure photorealistic scenes.
You're right. You're right. I am oversimplifying and...
Because at the end of the day, they're still trying to make something look realistic. That is still the primary goal across every single shot, is to make it look like it's real, even if it's slightly stylized to look better. Hyper real. That's the thing. All this stuff looks hyper real rather than realistic.
So how does Mark Ruffalo stack up against these other two Hulks?
The biggest change from the first two movies to the Avengers was the fact that they actually modeled the Hulk to look like Mark Ruffalo.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain.
I'm always angry.
I'm always hungry. That's the line, right?
I'm always hungry.
So somebody on the street came up to me and was like, I watch all your videos. I'm like, that's really cool. How do you watch all your videos? Have you subscribed yet? And they turn around to me and they go, that's my secret. I'm always subscribed. And they walk away. So you can be like that cool person who's also like the Hulk and subscribe to our channel, please. Still pretty green.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised because they made a whole point of being like, we desaturated the green to make him look more realistic. But I think the green is actually more saturated in this scene than in the Incredible Hulk.
So still super detailed, but I feel like the physics and the muscle structure is much more like accurate to an organism now. Like you can see his muscles on his shoulder blades twitching and flexing. Look at the definition of the ridges on his muscles, like on the left side of the screen there.
Looks so
there
good.
we go. See, that is super realistic looking to me. They actually have like that pore detail across all of his skin.
It looks like he's wearing one of those airplane neck pillows.
I'd say that there's less muscle detail in this version of the Hulk than the second one, but it looks better in this one.
Yeah, the second one was like a little too maxed out for me on the muscles, you know?
Yeah, a little bit too much like I'm in a muscle competition.
They spent a ton of effort on the face.
Yeah, the biggest change is just all about that face. They have so much more like facial animation points here. It looks way more like Mark Ruffalo. It looks more like a realistic person within this green character. It's a very realistic final result. So that was like the first Mark Ruffalo Hulk, right? And it looks very good, and they continued to improve little aspects of him as the movies went on. Let's talk about Avengers Endgame, which had the most Ruffalized Hulk.
All right, we all have our assignments. Stay low, keep an eye on the clock.
So there's the original Hulk from the 2012 Avengers.
Do you think they grabbed the old model?
You would think, and they actually thought that like, okay, we could just reuse the original model, but all of the technology surrounding that had come so far, they couldn't reuse the original Hulk asset. So they had to remake the original Hulk as close as they could to the original 2012 Hulk.
Maybe smash a few things along the way.
I think it's gratuitous, but whatever.
This Hulk
Looks
just
really
looks
good.
like Mark Ruffalo.
And so between the two final Avengers movies, basically Bruce Banner figured out how to merge his personality with Hulk.
I put the brains and the brawn together.
And so they became Professor Hulk. The idea is that he's all of Bruce Banner's smarts with the hulkiness of the Hulk.
I mean, he would de-Hulk to like go to sleep and like.
No,
Did he
he's
build?
full-time.
Did he build a new house? Does he have a new bed?
He's rich, man. He lives in a freaking flying aircraft carrier, all right?
Like you can really see the detail in his face now. Like that is absolutely 100% Mark Ruffalo with a green texture over him now, essentially, right? Obviously it's all CG, but it's so driven by the original Mark Ruffalo now. And of course they actually have Mark Ruffalo on set for pretty much every single scene. And so he's actually being there acting with all the other actors, and they just completely replace him with the digital version of him. It's pretty standard practice in these movies, but it's just so much more finessed and detailed now that all of his little micro movements are actually coming through now.
Yeah, you're getting like the crow's feet wrinkles on the sides of his eyes.
Yeah, so the first two Hulks look nothing like the actor that drove them, but then even within the Mark Ruffalo versions of the Hulk, they get more and more like Mark Ruffalo throughout the course of the movies.
Yeah, Clint, these movies aren't bad. You should watch them.
These are actually pretty
They're good movies. I'm gonna say it. The MCU movies, specifically the Avengers ones, are works of art and they are achievements in film, and if you call yourself a filmmaker, you deserve to show them some respect. Look, Ant-Man, sure, buy the books, whatever. Iron Man 3, buy the books, whatever. But the Avengers movies are works of art by some fantastic filmmakers.
We're literally making Clint yawn.
I mean, honestly, for as much crap as you guys give me for not watching them, I think it'd be easier if I just watched them, so you guys would just stop giving me crap.
Yeah, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get Clint to actually watch Endgame and Infinity
You can't
War.
make me do anything. That's not
You're right. Okay, fine. So it's really cool to see how technology has changed just in the last 18 years of making Marvel movies. Alrighty, now it is time to talk about ExpressVPN. What is a VPN, you might ask? Whenever you are connected to the internet, all those bytes you're sending out can be intercepted and read by third parties, and you don't want that. You want to have privacy when you're communicating with the internet. So basically, a VPN just creates a secure little tunnel that blast through the internet that no one can penetrate with their hacking abilities. And of course, ExpressVPN is the best one out there. No joke, I actually legitimately used our coupon code to buy ExpressVPN. Like, I actually legit did that because I needed one. I also used another VPN in the past and it was so slow, but the nice thing about ExpressVPN is that it's actually really fast. So let's say that there's a show that you really like on a streaming platform. For instance, you cannot watch Rick and Morty on Netflix in America, but you can in the UK, so all you gotta do is just change your location within ExpressVPN, and voila, you can now watch every episode of Rick and Morty. So do as I literally did and go to expressvpn.com/corridorcrew, and you can get 3 months for free when you sign up using the link in the description. Check it out. Now back to the video, Hulk smash! I've been kind of enjoying doing these like comparison moments. One thing I want to do is compare Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 2. We'll do that soon, but I want to see what suggestions you have.
The more we do these, the more difficult it gets to find really juicy clips. So if you guys have any sort of recommendations for us, things to look at, please leave a comment down below. We love reading them, and they actually inform a lot of the clips that we do pull for you guys. But thanks for watching. It's always a fun time doing these with you guys.
Yeah.
Come back next time. We do them every single week. So I'll see you guys next time.